He's hooking. He's hooking. Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
I lost my nerve. More than that, I lost the chance to find out how good I could have been. I quit. I've had to live with that my whole life. You want to walk away, nobody blame you. Most people would. I got a feeling you're not most people. I think you could be the best. If you want to prove it, if you want to be a driver, you got to get back on that track, and you got to do it right now, because if you don't, you never will. That crash is not going to define who you are. How you respond to it will.
I want to show people that there is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. It's the story, man. Yeah. You know, we're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book?
I've got one in life, and this is it, and we're in it right now, and there isn't a second to waste. Let's do this. What are we doing? What am I doing? What's exciting? What's fun? What's and kind of stand or fall, it doesn't matter. There's a great Chinese expression, a great old proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Guys, what do you wish you'd done before you died?
Paint a self-portrait.
Build a house. You?
I don't.
You would have died right now. How would you feel about your life?
I don't know. I wouldn't feel anything good about my life. Is that what you want to hear me say?
Look at the car he's driving, look at the watch he's wearing, look at the girl he's with. That's unattainable to many people, so it seems like it's valuable. But then you attained it, and then you realized, oh, this isn't valuable, this is just difficult to get. And there's a difference, there's a big difference. What's valuable is something that fulfills you intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, and lovingly. Most smart people realize that there is value in stepping outside of their comfort, that on the other side of discomfort is something valuable. We're told that worthwhile things are difficult to attain, because if they weren't difficult to attain, they wouldn't be worthwhile. This is how non-valuable but difficult things get slipped into our desires without us noticing. Attaining something worthwhile is often going to be difficult, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's worthwhile.
I'll do it one day. Okay, that's up to you. Or, and I like this one better, day one. This is day one. This is day one. That thing I have had in my crosshairs, that thing that I believe gets me out of bed, that thing that I run towards, that thing that I want to be passionate about, that thing I want to accomplish. Today is the first day. Today is day one.
It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it.
Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You might not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much. But don't you quit.
Because this world we live in is tough. It's tough. It will beat you down. It will try to take you out. It will find your weakness, and it will just hammer you.
The person that you have to spend the most time talking to in your life is yourself. Try not to lose that respect.
So if you're struggling right now, and you're having a hard time, and you're pissed off, and you're frustrated, know two things. One, you're not alone. Two, this is necessary for you to get where you want to go. And if you quit, if you falter, if you stop, all the pain will be for nothing.
I had no money whatsoever. In starting the company, I had nothing. I had no income source.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight and the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that, because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. You know, I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
And you had that third failure in a row. Did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
In the history of spaceflight, only 4 entities have launched a space capsule into orbit and successfully brought it back to the Earth. The United States, Russia, China, and Elon Musk.
One of the most important things, never, ever quit. Never quit. And I've seen people quitting. And if they would have held out longer, they would have been successful. I've seen it so much. I've seen some of the most brilliant people in the world that never made it because they were quitters. They were just quitters. They would quit. They just couldn't take it. They couldn't whatever. But you can never give up.
It's an urge. Truth be told, every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit.
Seize the moment, fellas. You get one chance. Believe that you are here for a reason. Keep this ball rolling and stay positive and believe. You have to believe that you can win this show.
I don't care who's doing better than me. I'm not in competition with anyone else. The only rival I have is the person I was yesterday. Last year, I was different. I've grown, I've learned, I've improved, and that's what truly matters. It's me versus me.
Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you can go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen, no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up, no matter what.
Right after you were injured, you went on Facebook and you posted a lengthy blog. Yeah, you know what this is?
Oh, yeah.
You said this.
You gonna read the whole thing?
No, I'm gonna read some of it. This is such BS. All the training and sacrifice just flew out the window with one step that I've done millions of times. The frustration is unbearable. The anger is rage. Why the hell did this happen? It makes no damn sense. Now I'm supposed to come back from this and be the same player or better at 35? How in the world am I supposed to do that? I have no clue. Do I have the consistent will to overcome this thing? Maybe I should break out the rocking chair and reminisce on the career that was. Maybe this is how my book ends. Maybe Father Time has defeated me. Then again, maybe not. It's 3:30 a.m. My foot feels like dead weight. My head is spinning from the pain meds, and I'm wide awake. Forgive my venting, but what's the purpose of social media if I won't bring it to you real, no image? Feels good to vent, to let it out. I feel as if this is the worst thing ever. Because after all the venting, the real perspective sets in of there are far greater issues and challenges in the world than a torn Achilles. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Find the silver lining and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear. I've always loved that quote. That's Mamba mentality. We don't quit, we don't cower, we don't run, we endure and conquer.
If you had the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.
I want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people.
I wanted to be the guy. I'm a warrior, period. There's a lot of guys who've been in a lot more combat than me. A warrior's not always that. A warrior's a motherfucker who says, hey, I'm here again today. I'm here again tomorrow. I'm gonna be here the next day. I'm 50 years old, I'm still getting after it. It's a person that puts no limit on what's possible.
For many times I was laughed at and not believed in, but you know what? Nothing external can defeat the internal. The only thing that can take someone down or break you down is internal. Nothing external is strong enough. It's just about making sure your internal dialogue and your internal belief in yourself is strong enough that it can withstand the external. The external is there. You've got to accept it. You've got to embrace it. You've got to understand it and be aware of it. But don't let it seep into your internal dialogue.
Do you, be yourself, and make sure that you love being yourself. There's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be tribulations, but always remember, this is a life experience. Accept the experience, appreciate the experience, and learn how to move on from things that don't serve you well, you know, and find your journey, respect your journey, and love it.
I tell you, the harder and harder you work in here, the harder and harder it becomes to accept failure out there. The second place isn't an option anymore, guys. The more you give in here, the more you get out there. Why would you not want to give it at all? What else are you gonna do? You come here and kill it right now? Or stay home on the couch? You know, watching the life pass by. I know it sounds like I say all the time, but sometimes you got it ingrained in your head. What else would you be doing right now? Taking the time off? Or taking the time to get ahead? It's just, that seems so simple to me, that solution, that, you know, the choice is there. If it doesn't seem so easy to you, it's because you don't believe in yourself. You believe in yourself, you want to be in here killing it. Because giving you that much more of a chance because you believe you can come that. The people that don't come in here because they're tired and stuff are people that don't believe in themselves. That's why they don't see the asset of being in the gym to grow. They see it as a waste of time because they don't believe they can ever get there.
The ironic tragedy is that life has to be lived forward but only makes sense in reverse.
Right. How can you beat someone who cannot quit? How can you beat someone who every time they go through a hard time, they get better and they get stronger instead of getting weaker and getting demoralized? How can you beat someone who looks back on all the tests that they've had and said, yeah, that wasn't shit, dude. Bring it on, okay? As opposed to the person who's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. And then in 2 months, another thing happens. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It's gonna be the person who has a stoic mentality, who looks at it and says this. Okay, all right, we'll get through it. And then the next thing happens. Well, won't do that again, but we'll get through it, right? Not freaking out like the world's ending every 2 weeks, dude. You can't live like that.
Your lack of commitment is almost an insult to the people who believe in you.
I dare you to stop around and dedicate the next 6 months of your life exclusively to your goals and your goals only. Don't announce it to anyone. Don't tell people on Instagram about it. Don't tell anybody. Just disappear, do the work, and reemerge in 6 months a different person.
Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change. Everything that you want is on the other side of hard. The reps removed out.
You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Since nothing seems urgent to you, you're only half involved in what you do.
When a man does not stick to the things that he says he's going to do, like you got a business idea and then you launch it, and before you start making money and it starts getting traction, you just let it go, and idea fairy comes and you go on to the next thing. That's stupid, bro. You're creating a pattern and a habit. Each time you start something and you don't finish it, one, you're losing credibility with yourself. You're losing your own reputation. You lose reputation with yourself and others. People go, wow, that guy has a failure to launch every time. He starts something, he tells everyone he's got a new idea, he's about to make this change, he's about to lose weight, he's about to improve his marriage, he's about to stop drinking, he's about to start making money, he's about to impact the world, and then you stop. You stop before the thing happens.
I know better, but I'm so used to doing wrong and being dysfunctional. I know better, but I don't want to do better. Or I know better, but I'm not willing to do better.
Something has the ability to be successful, but I just stop it and I don't stick with it because it's hard, because it's difficult, because the going got tough. All of life comes with its sets of adversities and setbacks and speed bumps. That is how life tests you to see if you are worthy of happiness, of success, of financial freedom, of abundance, of love.
Your pride and your ego is out of fucking control. Your pride and your ego has been killing your career growth. Your pride and your ego and your attitude has compromised the altitude of your career. I'll say it again. Your attitude has compromised the altitude of your career. Your shit could be on another level. You know better, but you're deciding to not do better. You are a lazy, unprofessional, mean attitude having, and yet when things are not happening good for you, when things are not coming your way, when things are not happening as fast as you want them to happen, you blame everybody else and what they're doing and saying, and you completely disown everything that you're doing to contribute to your career not going to another level. You know better, but you don't want to do better.
The only way to succeed in life is you gotta show up. How many times have you heard me say that? What's the biggest advice I could give you folks? Show up. You can't stay home. You want to be a success? You have to show up.
You cannot complain about things. Complaining about things, all it does is it's like throwing oxygen on fire, right? So to be unhappy about something is very reasonable. To complain about something is reasonable. To complain and be unhappy and not do anything about it is stupid. It is being a victim. And I know you, my friend, are not a victim. If you're like, man, why do people not want to hang out with me? Why do people kind of distance themselves from me? If you're that low tone, low energy, complainer, victim mindset dude that's just kind of every time people go, hey man, how's it going? You're like, oh, you know, hanging in there. You're the hanging in there guy. Hey, how's it going, bro? Hanging in. Think about that little saying. Everybody adopts that saying, but hanging in there, I just picture someone off a cliff, white knuckling, holding on, just hanging in there, man. I'm just hanging. Life is not meant to be hung in there. Life is meant to be experienced. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is meant to be challenged. Life is meant to have suffering and adversity, but all of life should not be suffering and adversity. There is joy and fulfillment and significance in life, and if you don't have it, if you're just hanging in there, what the are you doing, man? You're slowly putting out your fire. And by complaining to everyone, and I'm hanging in there, man, you know, thank God it's Friday, thank God it's the weekend. Don't be like that, man.
I have led a toothless life. A toothless life. I have never bitten into anything. I was waiting. I was reserving myself for later on, and I have just noticed that my teeth have gone.
A lot of people wait for perfect conditions to start, but don't realize that starting is the perfect condition.
Seneca famously said that the mind focused on future events is miserable. I see so many people focusing on the things that they cannot control. They want to make $1 million, but obviously you can't dictate the specific day that you're going to become a millionaire. They want to develop a better physique, but you can't specifically dictate the day where you'll be proud of the body that you have if you're overweight or if you're too skinny. You need to understand that you can't be focused on the future. What you need to be focused is on the present moment. What you can control today, the habits that you input today, the amount of work ethic and good attitude that you portray today, these are the things that matter. The Stoics used to speak about these things because it is so easy to either reminisce in the past or to be conjuring imaginary scenarios of the future, oftentimes negative, that lead a present moment of stress and a state of being miserable. So if you want to be in a life that is full of equanimity, equanimity means the calmness of the soul, and a life that is full of peace, you need to be here now, focusing on what you can control. If you want to make more money, perfect, clock in. If you want to become more financially literate, you're gonna have to pick up the books and get educated. If you want a better physique, you're gonna have to eat healthier food, and you're gonna have to exercise. Not focused on the future, but focused on what you can do today. By natural law, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The universe will give you exactly what you deserve. Don't live a life of misery by living in the past or living in the future, but live a life of peace and equanimity by being here, right now.
If you're gonna do it, do it. Say what you can do what you say. If you
can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it, find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would have. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. You have something you just don't know. Whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't have it. I said, I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to.
The man who never fell has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is. The man who fell 20 times and got up 21 times, that man has even greater. Wow, that man has more courage, way more courage than the guy who was so strong from birth that he never fell. Our glory comes from our faults, accomplishing what we accomplish in spite of our faults. And without the faults, there is no glory.
Stop being a lazy, bum-ass person that's full of excuses, sitting around on the pity potty, coming up with every excuse in the world as to why you ain't winning. You are the reason you're not winning. You are the reason you look the way you look. You are the reason you're unemployed. You are the reason why your surroundings are so dysfunctional and negative. It's a choice. You have thought your way into a depression. You have thought your way into negativity and misery. It's all in the mind. Change your mind and it will change your life. Stop complaining about being out of shape when you never go to the gym. Stop looking at your stomach when you get out of the shower and your body and complaining about the way you look when you're eating everything in sight and never going to the gym. Excuses sound best to the people that's making them up. You got every excuse in the world. That's why you're angry. That's why ain't nothing changed and nothing will change. Because you have convinced yourself that everything is wrong, everything is negative, and nothing will change. And guess what? It won't change. Change your mind and it will change your life.
Real reality is, no matter how much emotion and feeling you may have or how much hurt you may have, life has to go on. Life doesn't stop for anybody. So if you don't process that and understand that, you're stuck in whatever time period you got hurt forever.
You are not going to get anywhere in this world. You're not going to get anywhere financially, spiritually, socially, or otherwise until you get to that point where you don't give a damn about what other people think about you.
I know what darkness looks like. I know what it feels like to be alone, with no motivation, no drive, no passion. But if you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, no and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that.
You can't have an easy life and a great character. Show me a trust fund kid that inherited a bunch of money, and I'll show you someone mentally tortured. Having stuff isn't fun. Getting stuff is fun, right? It's not the pursuit of happiness. It's the happiness of the pursuit, right? It's that thing, and it's not like, the self-help. It's not the journey, it's the destination. It's not either the journey or the destination. It's who you become on the journey.
Everybody wants to be better. Everyone talks about becoming better, but I'll tell you right now, it doesn't just happen. You want to improve? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet or start a new business? You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or an app? Where do you start? You start right here. When do you start? You start right now.
Winners win and losers lose. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture. You owe you an explanation. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? You need to put yourself on punishment. You need to tell you no more TV, no more snacks, no more desserts, we working out now. No more alcohol, not right now. I can't handle it right now. You need to tell you that you owe you something.
Life's gonna give you ultimately what you'll fight for. Stop backing into everything. Stand up.
bow your back a little bit. Start to walk a little different. Start to be that best version of you. You can do it in your quiet way. You can do it the way you do it. But somehow they got to look at you and go, okay, I won't monkey with that one. In your life, you're going to get what you tolerate. So what's the decision? What have you been sitting on? Is it the decision to finally get serious? Is it the decision to get licensed? Is it the decision to stop worrying about what people think? Is it the decision to become a great closer? Is it the decision to get off of some drug or alcohol you're on? What's the decision? It's sitting right in front of you. You knew it when you came in here. What have you been hesitating on? What are you afraid of? Face it right now.
It takes courage. It takes commitment. It takes discipline. These are all things that you need to have, because let me tell you this, when you do, magic is going to start to happen, baby. You'll start to move forward and achieve that thing. You'll start respecting yourself more. You'll start carrying yourself differently and think that you can take on the world. But it all starts with honesty. Ask yourself what you've been lying to yourself about. Consciously admit that you've been bullying yourself about that thing, and do everything in your power to go out and change it. It ain't easy to do, but I promise you, it will be worth it.
Lasting greatness is not found in the roar of a crowd or the flash of the spotlight. No, it is found in the quiet, relentless grind of those who choose to work hard in silence. You see, the greats throughout history, the true titans of industry, the innovators and the pioneers, they didn't seek the spotlight. They didn't need the validation of others to propel them forward. They were driven by an inner fire, a relentless passion to master their craft, to push the boundaries of what was possible. And they did it all while staying out of the limelight, content to let their work speak for itself. Think about the great inventors. The Edisons, the Teslas, the Wrights, they toiled for years, experimenting and iterating, facing setback after setback, all the while quietly honing their skills and perfecting their creations. Because when you work hard in silence, when you let your actions and your results do the talking, you build a foundation of true, lasting success that no amount of flash or fanfare can ever replicate. You develop a depth of knowledge, mastery of your craft. That sets you apart from the rest. And when the time comes to step into the spotlight, when the world finally takes notice of your accomplishments, it's not because you've been craving the attention, but because you've simply been too busy creating something truly remarkable. And my friends, that is the true power of working hard in silence. It's not about seeking validation or attention. It's about tapping into a wellspring of your own potential, about relentlessly pursuing excellence for its own sake. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the process, in the daily grind, in the quiet moments of progress and growth. Because let me tell you, the true rewards of working hard in silence, they far surpass anything that the world can offer. It's when you've put in the hard yards, when you've honed your craft to a razor's edge. There's a sense of pride and satisfaction that comes from knowing that you've truly earned your success.
When we were kids, my mom hung a poster over our bed. It had a picture of a bumblebee, and under the picture, the caption read, "According to all aerodynamic laws, the bumblebee cannot fly because its body weight is not in the right proportion to its wingspan. But ignoring these laws, the bee flies anyway."
It was hard for me to give up my old blame list. It was so comfortable blaming the government, blaming my negative relatives, and the company policy, unions, wage scale, economy, interest rates, prices and circumstances and all that. That was difficult for me to give up. It was quite a transition for me to make, and blaming myself. But Mr. Schultz started out with something very, very important. Let me give that to you. He said, "It's not what happens that determines the major part of your future. It's not what happens. What happens, happens to us all." He said, "The key is what you do about it. It's not what happens, it's what you do about it." And he said, if you will start that process of change, do something different the next 90 days than you did the last 90 days, like picking up the books to read. Do something different, like the new health disciplines, relationship with your family, whatever it is, doesn't matter how small it is. If you'll start doing different things with the same circumstances, since we cannot change the circumstances, but we can change ourselves. We can change what we do.
When others judge you, keep working hard. While they make fun of you, put in even more effort. When they're sleeping, you should be studying. When they talk badly about you, keep on working. In a few years, they'll compare their lives to yours and realize you're miles ahead. Focus on yourself because there's always going to be noise and people trying to bring you down. Ignore the haters and let your success speak for itself. The best way to silence them is through your actions and achievements.
Trust the pace of your process. You might feel like you're behind, like it's taking longer than it should. But who told you it has to happen now? This season is preparing you. It's asking you to slow down and let go of the things that are outside of your control. The things you're waiting for are happening in ways that you can't even see yet. So just be here. What's meant for you won't miss you, but you have to be ready when it arrives.